Thank you so much for tuning in to Hair Politic, the channel where we discuss politics of hair in the black community. I'm your host, Alana, and in today's first installment of What Do Black Men Really Think About Natural Hair, we'll be speaking with Matthew, a devoted husband and father of two wonderful young women, and my uncle. So, both of your daughters and your wife are all natural. How did that happen?
Well, the youngest daughter has been natural since birth. She's never done anything with her hair chemically. My wife and my oldest daughter have recently become natural, probably within the last year to 18 months. And in terms of how it happened, of course, with my wife, she's just been getting relaxers since she was a little girl. And with our oldest child, it was just a given that you do what you are used to. And so, and to make combing her hair easier, she got a relaxer probably around the age of 12 or 13. And now she's 18, and well, she'll be 18 next month. And she decided a year ago, probably with the urging or pushing of my youngest daughter, to go natural, and then my wife decided that she too would just go natural.
Okay, and so there was some urging and pushing from your youngest daughter. How did you feel about this change? Were you urging and pushing as well? Were you a little bit apprehensive?
I certainly was urging and pushing, and in fact, I would say it was my urging and pushing that caused the youngest daughter not to get a relaxer in the first place. She has the thickest hair of any of us, and her hair is very difficult to manage in terms of braiding, combing through it. And there was a time when she desperately wanted to get a relaxer, not just to be like her friends and colleagues. We're in a diverse school district, and so she has friends who are European American and whose hair is straight, and being around them, thinking that that is easier and perhaps better. She just didn't like the experience of either going to a hairdresser or having her mother do her hair. Literally, it was crying and tears and gnashing of teeth.
So was there ever any discussion about beauty? Daddy, I want to be pretty like everybody else.
I don't ever recall that word being used, that she wanted to be pretty like everybody else. But you certainly got it implicitly that she wanted to be like others. And others were not just European Americans, by the way, but others were other African American girls whose hair was relaxed and straight. So implicitly there's probably some relation to beauty, but she never said it. And
to be clear, you are a diversity facilitator, so I imagine in your home you work really hard to try and foster positive reinforcement about beauty and about diversity, and how being different is not being less worthy of attention. And yet there's still some of that got through to your daughter. How does that make you feel as a black man, as a diversity facilitator?
It just lets me know that it doesn't matter so much what you teach. What we teach at home is a foundation, and then upon that foundation, society builds the lessons and the self-images, and the person's self-esteem is added to and built upon in society. And so if every image you see of African American women is with straight or relaxed hair, particularly those who are modeling, those who are quote unquote beautiful, that image and those images will feed and change whatever we're teaching at home. So it doesn't surprise me that she, even though we would try to steer her one way, that she or either of my daughters would want to go the other way. But it's just a matter of reasserting what we teach at home and hoping that ultimately, getting through those rough patches, which we have. I think we're on the other side now of her desire to want to have relaxed hair, as she is not only decided strongly that she wants to keep her natural hair forever, essentially, but that she has brought the other two women in the house around to wanting to have natural hair as well.
And now that you have all three women who are on the side of natural hair for life, how do you reaffirm that beauty? How do you constantly reassure them that this is beautiful, that this is okay, and that this is who you are as a black man? What do you say?
Well, it's certainly common when they come back from, there's a hairdresser that does natural hair care, and so they get their hair twisted or braided and other different natural styles, certainly to shower them with compliments.
Oh, give us some. Give us some. Tell us.
Yeah, your hair sure looks nice. And, you know, I also encourage them to push the envelope with it in terms of not even, you know, sometimes before getting their hair done, they may have their hair in braids, to take their hair out of the braids and just wear the hair in a bushy, you know, creative, you know, kind of pushing the envelope sort of style, a style that's no style, but is the natural. You wake up and your hair is just like this. It's this natural curly hair. And so, yeah, I'm really a pro natural hair.
Okay, and so let's step outside of your household for a minute. When you are, you know, at the poker game with the guys, I'm sure the topic may come up, you know, few and far between, but just when you're outside of your home and you're with other black men, has a topic ever come up negatively about natural hair care and natural hairstyles? And if it did, for instance, if somebody said, "Oh, you know, her hair was so nappy, it was so, you know, unkept," what was your response? And if it's never happened, what would be your response?
Well, it's never happened at a poker game, but it's happened with a mentor, young man, Jamal, and one of the things, you know, we hang out and, you know, take him different places, and we were out at a restaurant, and he was talking about describing the type of girl. He's 14, 15, I think, actually, and describing the type of girl that he likes or whatever, and he talked about not wanting somebody with nappy hair. And of course that sent me into a tizzy, and we had to have use that as a teachable moment where we came back and sat around the dining room table and read an article. I had them all read an article about natural hair, and we talked about that. And one of the things that I mentioned to him, and so this is what I would do if this happened in a poker game or anywhere else, is the story that I shared about his sister, who they're from Jamaica. Their parents are Jamaican, and their aunt, who is just recently from Jamaica here in the country, has been here for 5 years now, talking to Jamal's sister, who has very thick and curly hair. She was envious of how thick and curly her hair was. And it was the first time I had ever heard somebody say, "Man, I wish I had hair like that." And they were not talking about someone with straight hair. They were talking about someone with the natural curly hair and thick and coarse. And it really let me know that it depends on your frame of reference, because of course here in our society, where Eurocentric beauty is what's the order of the day, it's different, I would imagine, if we were in Africa or Jamaica or in the islands, where an Afrocentric form of beauty is what's cherished. And so the thicker, the coarser, the curlier the hair, then the more desired and envious someone would be of that hair. And it's just the opposite. You wouldn't do anything there to try to straighten your hair. You'd be a laughing